Watch me in my natural habitat, which is picking shit off the floor. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab the rest of my bits and pieces of groceries to make my lunch. And I always try to pick up stuff by putting up it against a wheel. Or if it's big enough, I roll it up the wheel. Sort of tuck it in there.
There you go. So now that was a couple of tutorials in one. How to get yourself back up when you.
So you get to watch me in my natural habitat, which is picking shit off the floor. Yeah, so I'm gonna grab the rest of my bits and pieces of groceries to make my lunch. And I always try to pick up stuff by putting up it against a wheel. Or if it's big enough, I roll it up the wheel. Sort of tuck it in there.
There you go. So now that was a couple of tutorials in one. How to get yourself back up when you've leaned over.
Yeah.
And also to pick up something quite big off of the floor. Is it harder to pick up something smaller or bigger that you can't grip? Like a pencil or something?
It really depends. Like small things, I can usually like jam it in between my finger on the floor.
Oh.
And I can get it stuck under, like I can wheel over top of the tip of it, and then it flips it up. So it's up in the air, and then I can sort of grab it.
Oh, brilliant.
So it depends on the shape and the size, whether big or small works.
Interesting.
But I'm sure I'll drop some more stuff.
Okay, what are we making? What are you making?
I'm actually just going to make a wrap, but it looks like way more involved than it's going to be. I don't love vegetables as much as I wish I did. And I eat them because they're good for me. Partially, I hate the prep piece. So I try to do prep ahead of time. And I also try to prep the fresh vegetables and just eat them while I'm making the thing I'd really like to eat.
Which is the
wrap?
The bread and the meat?
Totally. So, and I didn't get the meat out yet either, but yeah, so I've got a bunch of stuff that's been pre-cut or partially cut up. And whether you're living on your own and doing it yourself, or you got a caregiver, trying to prep ahead of time, I think is really key for me keeping better habits. Especially when I'm very easily drawn to bad habits.
Are you a fan of buying like pre-cut up, broccoli in the bags at the grocery store and stuff like that? Like, or you don't do that?
I do. I find it's a bit hit and miss with how fresh it is.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're in a pinch for time, you're tired, you don't feel well, I'd still do that over not doing it.
Okay.
Over heat and serve.
Okay.
The other thing, I say this all the time, I'm blessed that I have a partner that cooks, and he makes a lot of stuff in large quantities and freezes it. So all else fails, go down to the freezer and
there's something
get something in there. Although he's a big meatitarian too, so not that I don't love meat, but there's never enough greens in it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Could I see maybe how you do if you were to cut something up?
Oh, I'll be cutting some of this stuff
up. Oh, you will be cutting it up. Okay.
Yeah, because like I said, I kind of got it sort of, the major messy parts done, like on a pepper, all the seeds and crap is out of that.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely will. And I have a cutting board here that I do stuff on. I always keep a cutting board on my lap also, because it just gives a nice flat surface. Yeah, so I'm just going to grab a knife. So yeah. What do I got here first? Get some cucumbers. All right. That's pretty good. So yeah, I've got some red pepper pieces. I'm going to slice up a little bit of cucumber and cauliflower.
I just want to get a little closer up of how you grip that knife.
Yeah, I sort of put it in between my fingers, and similarly with my piece of vegetable that I want to cut, I'll kind of jam it in between there as well.
Okay.
And full recognition, I have grip function in my right hand. So I recognize not everybody does who is a quad.
Yeah.
But I think what message is probably important is to keep trying different ways and different things with what you've got.
Yeah.
So.
I've seen a number of YouTube videos of rocking knives, like that you can stick your hand
like a tea
through.
knife.
I'm not sure about a tea knife. I'm not sure, but they're like I'll try and put something in while I'm talking here of a video of something that I'm talking about from another YouTube video. But it's like a curved knife that has one handle over the top.
Yes, I think I recognize.
And then you can, it's got like a little space in between that you can sort of put your hand through and then like rock back and forth to cut.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So in order to, you cut it through the middle so that the stuff comes off, you don't have to peel the...
Yes, ma'am.
That was brilliant.
And I try to get my fingers out of the way. And if I can't get them out of the way, putting my fingers underneath. It's the same that any like Red Seal chef will tell you when they're telling you how to cut stuff, is to get your fingers underneath kind of and sort of jam the edge of the knife.
Oh, into the knife.
Yeah.
Push it into the knife.
And sharp knives. That's the other thing. People think they're going to have fewer cuts by using dull knives, but you're far more likely
to slip
and slice yourself. And nice sharp cuts don't bleed quite as bad.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Part of a pepper.
These ones are probably tricky because they're
moving around. Flat. Yeah. So I just still try to get a. But again, I'm not making a huge salad out of this. It doesn't have to be perfect. They don't have to be uniform size because I'm not cooking it. So that would be different if I was cooking these things. But if you need to get some food in you, and especially green things, just hack them up.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how you wrap the wrap up. That's what's going on in my head. I'm going, how do you wrap the wrap up?
We'll see. Hopefully I'll succeed. Doesn't always work, but...
Now I've made you nervous.
Yeah.
You're like, now I'm not going to wrap it up.
Here we go. And I showed you how I get like, and kind of...
Oh yeah,
twist.
like you make your hand sticky.
But you know what's easiest? Excuse me, my teeth. So.
I had a friend that was a quad tell me that teeth are her best friend.
They are. They totally are. I try to stop, don't do it as much as I used to, because my poor front teeth are starting to wear down a bit. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, no kidding.
I gotta keep dentists. I gotta keep poor sad dentists employed.
Yeah. Make space.
Make space. Yep.
So that's another reason. In the previous video, if you guys haven't gone and watched that video, I'll put a link to it in the description below and in the cards up above. But Margaret describes this, the cutting board that she's using right now, and why she likes it being higher than her lap. And this is another reason when she has another cutting board on her lap, she can wheel under it, if she has to, without stuff sliding off or anything like that. So she's kind of got two work surfaces at the same time.
Yeah, and if I have like a plate or a pot on this lap, I can slide food off of here and into that pot, or take this over to the stove if I've got something on the go. Well, that didn't work. Fix that later too.
Oh, did it go underneath?
Yeah, it just got stuck on itself. All right, so now I'm gonna snack while I make my sandwich. So, yeah.
Oh, I see. So not everything is going in there.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I get it. Mm-mm. So you eat the stuff first that isn't the tastiest, or
I love it. I don't know why it is. Once I get it in my face, I don't mind it. But I'm like, so I was looking at a menu. I'm like, burger, fries, yum.
Yeah. I know, I'm kind of the same way too. There's never been a time where I've regretted ordering something green.
Yeah.
I've never been like, this is disgusting. But the thought of ordering something green when you see other greasy things on the menu, you're like, I'd rather have the grease, thank you.
Totally. Actually, I don't know if you...
So teeth and wrist action is how you open those.
Yeah, to get the friction to...
Yeah.
To hang on to stuff. I don't know if you have ever used these tortillas. They have two different kinds. This one's a protein tortilla, and then they also have a high fiber one, and it's La Tortilla Factory. And I gotta say, like, for something that's not just a plain old flour tortilla, they are, as I think, as close as you're gonna get to a...
Are they
soft.
like fava bean or something like that, or what kind of protein?
No, this has got pea protein in it.
Oh, pea protein. Oh, some sort of a legume.
Yeah, and these ones aren't gluten-free. They make a gluten-free one.
Oh, I hate gluten-free wraps. They're so gross.
I was going to say, unless you have to eat gluten-free, they're gross.
Yeah, they're really bad. And they don't wrap. They're so dry.
And unless you have to eat gluten-free, they're not that good for you.
Yeah,
They are full of carbohydrates, a lot of starches.
So many. The one thing about gluten-filled food, it's I guess redeeming quality is that it's high protein.
Yeah.
It's really high protein. As long as it's whole grain or some sort of whole food source of gluten, it's really high in protein and generally high in fiber as well.
And so the high fiber ones they make are 12 grams per tortilla, which is very high.
That is really high.
Which then for anybody who's looking at trying to maintain a lower, not low, but a lower carbohydrate lifestyle, it really changes the glycemic index.
It really does. And just as a little caveat here, people with spinal cord injuries are at way higher risk of diabetes just because of a whole bunch of metabolic changes that happen after a spinal cord injury, including an increase in intramuscular fat on our legs and our paralyzed limbs.
I did not know that.
It's, and any, fat in our organs, like in our liver or our muscles, that causes insulin resistance, which can lead to diabetes depending on, how you manage it. So it is important for people with spinal cord injuries to be carb conscious. So one of the ways to do that is by making sure that your carbs are whole grain and high fiber. So ding, ding, both check marks on those boxes for this meal.
Yep. Yeah, and I've done ultra low carb, and that isn't so awesome for me either.
Yeah.
But kind of striking a balance is
How much core strength do you have? Just while we're on this topic, because when you're grabbing both wrists up to your teeth, sorry, just move the camera, guys. Nope. Followed my hand when I was doing it. It looked like you could bring your arms up, quite like that without falling over.
There is some proprioception that goes on.
What does that
mean? So that's
mean?
Learning where your body is in space.
Oh, I get it. Okay, so it's not necessarily core. It's overcompensating or compensating with the way you are moving.
That, and then like taking a run at it, like I said in my last video, where I take a run at the kitchen. I'm coming at this, and it has some weight. I do have some back muscles, but I use my head and my neck a lot. Yeah. And so that's coming back, and then I'm not in any danger of falling forward. Once I bring the leverage out, then I have less.
Yeah. And I saw you did put your elbow down for when you were up there.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot to grab mustard. One of the things I hate in some of these squeeze bottles is mustard and ketchup, where you've got this like unpredictable squeeze.
The no spill cap has ruined our lives with this.
And some of my clothes.
I know. I have a dish soap that has a non-spill cap, and I'm like, who can squeeze this stuff out? It's so annoying. It's so like impossible, and I can't do it with one hand because it's impossible. I'm like, I'm not sure who's squeezing these bottles before they sell them, but it's not anybody with a disability or that's old.
I don't have a lot of these, but I love them. These containers with these...
the snap sides.
Snap sides.
I love those ones too.
They are brilliant.
Oh, that's
for
cheese.
quad.
I thought that was butter.
Yep.
It's cheese, yeah. Okay. What kind of cheese?
Just matzo.
Just matzo.
Yep.
So you're not a subscriber to eliminating any food groups or anything. I know that there's so many folks out there that think in order to maintain a healthy life, you have to eliminate whole food groups, which is annoying.
No, there are some things that give me grief more times than others. And so I might back off of something for a little bit or back off in terms of quantity. But I have done that. I have eliminated whole food groups at times when, because I've done blood testing to look at inflammatory responses to foods. And it's never been, don't ever eat this again. This is giving you inflammation right now. So maybe lay off for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I love food. I love food.
Yeah, I know, me too.
I love food and I love to eat too much of it sometimes, so that is probably one of the things that I am presently working on most, is making my portions match my calorie output.
Yeah, that is hard for me too. And it's not that I'm always like that, it's just I like the taste of food. So if I lived with Paul, I would be seriously in trouble.
We will never die of starvation in this household with him around.
Well, the one thing that you can be thankful for is that he's not cooking hamburger helper and processed foods.
Nope. Although we do kind of love that stuff when we go camping.
I know, me too. That's my like guilty pleasure is camping food. So
we put a new fire pit in this summer, first couple of weeks, and it was like we're camping, eating all the shittiest food we can find. So now it's like, no, we light the fire at like 8 o'clock at night. Supper's done. We're not we're not eating.
Yeah. Oh, see, here's so you make sure all the food is on the one side.
Yeah, and I start rolling it up and hope it all stays in by the time I get it to the end.
Oh, so you don't... Okay, that's brilliant. Because I was thinking, how an able-bodied person would wrap, they would put the food in the middle, kind of flip-flop it. And then yeah.
Didn't quite work for me.
Yeah, no, but that's brilliant.
And it looks kind of pathetic, but to be honest with you, most of the wraps that you're going to eat have probably got way more shit in them than you need to put in your body.
Exactly. And what you're doing right now is it's kind of like the side dish with the veggies and the main dish with the wrap. So to finish off, I just wanted to ask what your advice would be to somebody who sees you cooking independently or, preparing, not cooking, but preparing something independently and is thinking, I don't know how she does that. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that. What would your advice be to somebody who maybe is newly paralyzed or is really struggling with, being a quadriplegic and being independent in the kitchen?
Well, so I went home to my mom and dad's house, and my mom was the parent with the last kid at home. Her baby got hurt. So she did everything and I learned nothing. And so when I moved out on my own, I would say, and so I moved out on my own a year and a half I was injured after injury. So that's still like moving out from the hospital, in my opinion. And so I would say, start with something that you know that is easy or was easy before you were injured. And if you are on your own, just do your best, but have something in the fridge that you can heat up. If you do have somebody with you who can do a little bit of prep but give you space, like make a mess. Then one of the things I think that we forget as adults is that it's fine to make a mistake. Kids don't tend to be afraid to make mistakes. At least little kids don't. So, like, make a mess. yeah, you might waste some food. Just give it a try. And yeah, just do some simple things. Like, this is not a really onerous meal. I can make things that are more onerous or difficult, but not today because I want to eat.
Yeah.
But
and to be truthful, if all you had to do was, you know, pick up the meat out of the thing and chew on it, eat the veggies, and be like a deconstructed wrap, you'd still be getting all the same food. It just wouldn't be, you know, the same presentation.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's good advice. So basically, start with something easy. Wait for somebody, or like when you're attempting harder things, wait for when you have somebody there that if you did need help, could, you know, pick stuff up off the floor or whatever. And basically just stay pretty chill about it because, you know, mistakes are okay and that's how you're going to learn.
It's just food.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much to Margaret again for letting us just, you know, pick her brain and follow her around while she does her daily things. If you guys want to be notified when Margaret is on with me on Mondays, you can sign up for an email subscription, link in the description below, and I will send you an email notifying you when I release the Mondays with Margaret's episodes. If you want to leave a comment asking for any other video ideas, we would love that. That's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye.
Have a great week.